Hey YouTube, Mr. Dodo8449 here. First of all, I'm just going to apologise and say I'm not using a tripod today, so the camera might be a bit shaky, but anyway, let's get move on. So, yeah, in the first video, I introduced my track plan, and sort of the ideas I'm going to have. Briefly, just go over it again. We've got a fiddler's yard here, tracks around, we've got a canal, two just bridges, and a station, sort of loading area there. Couple of trees, maybe a hill or something here, a few more trees around there, sort of banks on the canal, maybe a loading or dock area, whatever you want to call it, for the canal boats going up to, bank all the way along. Now I have had a slight change of plan. This bit here is now part of the baseboard, so instead of being 10 centimetres, it's 15 centimetres, the same size as up here, so I will be putting a road or something behind. But that's just a quick 30 seconds of the previous video. If you would like to look at that video, I do explain a bit more, then please just click on that board, click on the picture, and that'll take you there. So, as I mentioned in the first video, I'm going to be doing a, well, sort of a how-to video of how to go from an idea to, well, when you start putting scenery up, because that's the most important bit of the layout in my opinion. And from doing my 00 gauge layouts, I've kind of learned some things that I probably would have done if I'd known them before, and so on. So I'm going to put them all into this little N gauge layout. So basically, I've done track plan, all arranged, all sorted and everything. Now the next thing to do is baseboard. Now I took my track plan, I knew the size, 110 by 65 centimetres, 20 on the top and 15 along the bottom. And then I cut that into my wood. So there's the, you saw it in the other video, but there is my baseboard. Now the next thing you have to do is basically take this plan from here onto the baseboard, and you want to make it as accurate as possible. Now, as what I found you could do on the software is put this grid in. Each of those squares is 4.5 centimetres by 4.5 centimetres. Why 4.5? Because this square bit of wood is 4.5 on that side, 4.5 on that side, and so on. So is all I could do is just place it on the board, then draw a line and roll it, draw a line, roll it, and so on, so on. So it made it really easy to draw my lines, which is, well, that's the reason why they're 4.5 centimetres. You can use whatever size you want, but the smaller the better. I think 5 centimetres is good. So each of these squares, well, is to say each of these squares can be found on the baseboard now. And when you get this, you've got to work like a bit of a map reference. And you just go however many count squares along, and then divide that square sort of into 10 little bits, and then you can work out where your corners, your points, and things like that sit. So that's exactly what I've done. I'm going to start off with the village art up here. I think it was 6.5 squares along by 2 squares up, which is exactly what I've got here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry, 7.5 by 2 squares up. That's actually 1 square and 2 halves. Before anyone says it's 3. But yes, that was 7.5 by 3 squares. That'll be a finished. What I'm going to do is cut a groove out of there on that green line, and I'm going to stick the baseboard upright like that, and like that. Put doors on this man, make it look like a warehouse sort of look to it. Then the next thing I did, moving along, was the canal. Again, same method, counting squares, joining up dots basically, because it's a canal and man-made. The edges are going to be pretty much straight. So as what I did is just, as I said, dots in the correct place, straight line, it bends up very slightly, it bends up right to the end. Same goes on the other side. Did the same for the bridge, worked out where it goes. The other thing I did for the bridge though, it's got my flexi track, and I worked out where the points were, which are these here, which need to show you which way is there. That's a left hand point, for instance, that's a right hand point, there's one more left hand point down there. But those there, so all I did is held the track on one end of it, and then I bent it around until it got to the other end of it, and I just held it in about the right position. Just put a few dots where the track laid, and then I worked out by using the track and the track plan exactly where the bridge goes, and it pretty much sits there and there. 2 separate bridges. Same goes for the station. So as you can see, this track plan has now been drawn up on the board. So yeah, that's one very useful tip, is using a grid to get your track. Now it's very important you do this bit here, because although it might fit on your track plan, it may not fit on your board, or you might want to change something. Now, I'm sure this will fit. I can't say 100% at the moment because I haven't got my 4 points yet. They should be here tomorrow. Well, yeah, hopefully here tomorrow. Once they're here, I'll be able to start working on sort of holding the track down loosely. But anyway, yeah, I was saying once, working out where everything sits. The other thing I was able to work out is how to create the canal, because obviously this bit of board here needs to be cut out and dropped down. As you can see, I've got quite a nice gap if I just use another bit board the same size. So what I'm going to be doing is basically cutting out a second baseboard, same size, then screwing them together. Before I screw it together, I'm going to cut out this bit here, then screw them together, and then that will give me a drop. Now for point motors, I either have to go out and cut a big hole, or what I'm probably going to do is on the underside baseboard is just cut great big rectangles out of it, so I can just screw the point motor straight to the top board, and that way I don't need to buy the longer arms point motors, which I'll come back to later. That there is pretty much it for this video. As I said, next one we'll hopefully be covering starting to put the track down, working out where everything should be set, and also getting the canal cut out, and sort of working on any scenery and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so the one thing really to take from this video is about the grid. Really useful, really easy to get it from here onto here. If you want to look at my first video where I just explain about the track plan and the idea and stuff, then just click on this piece of paper. There should be a link there now, and that'll take you to the first video. Now, the last thing to say is I've been thinking about this, trying to work out what I should do with it. I don't really want a passenger line, as how would the warehouse fit in and things like that. Because what I've decided to do is turn this into like a logger's line, or something like that. So the warehouse will actually be a sawmill. Then come around here, the station will actually be maybe a loading bay or something with a crane on it. Lorries come up one side and they just load it onto the wagons. Very simple design, obviously. Bluey water, something like that. It's quite clean. I want quite clean looking water. Static grass all over. Maybe a hill or something around this area, which I think will look quite good. So yeah, so that's everything to say about this video. Hopefully the next one will be out in a couple of days' time. I am still working on my other layouts, but I'll probably have one of these update videos before I get another one of these for the N-Gauge out. But yeah, so hopefully you found this useful, maybe a few hints or tips or something you found. If you did, then please leave a comment below. I'd like to just hear what you think about it and so on. Finally, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will catch you again soon.